We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with this game. Whoop! I didn't even mean to click that, but that's okay. That is actually what I wanted to click. It's just wasn't intending to be there at this point. All right. Hang on. So where are we at? Where are we at? Okay. So I was able to figure out what the hell. I had missed literally one dialogue option earlier, and I guess that's on me. Shrug. But we have the skills now. So we got this. So let's go ahead and progress. So we examine the console. The console is beyond your understanding, so you place your faith in the mantras. Of course, the problem with mantras is you have no way to know which ones will apply, so you try the mantra of suspending the ordinary function of, which you thought was a safe bet until you realize it requires you to replace one function with another. Next, you try the mantra of divine guidance, only realize midway through you're missing the famed golden arrows to which it frequently refers. With desperation hanging over you like a cloud, you decide to attempt the mantra of actions and reactions. This bloated text has been enlarged by generations of philosophers eager to add their mark to history, and for this reason is ignored by more reputable lore masters, such as S. Diesel, one of the most reputed lore masters of the modern age. Just as you're working through the last instruction of the mantra of actions and reactions, the console begins to respond, confirming you have chosen the correct text. The mantra focuses on things that act and things that react, suggesting the right sequence can cause a chain reaction. By following the directives in the correct order, you believe you can either initiate these reactions with the dead machines, or power down the last working machine. So let's power up the 3 machines. Reciting the words as you go, you follow the steps until one of the machines rattles to life with a loud pitching noise, which eventually settles into a deep hum. A newly augmented power flows into the tank. Something else pours out. Visions. Memories are flooding your mind. At one moment, you're standing on a battlefield of long ago, men around you dying by the thousands, and you are the one exterminating them. I have that dream every night. Though you are not physically present, you are seeing them in your mind and striking them down from far away. Next, you're experiencing the agony of losing that vital part of you that was never yours. More power flows into the tank, and more visions pour out, but you are no longer sure they are visions. As the chamber shakes and debris showers down from the ceiling, the agony of the creature in the tank becomes more real than ever. You fall to your knees. You are bleeding from the nose and trying to crawl away. You're crawling over piles of corpses, recently killed and still bloody. You are crawling towards something. A sarcophagus? A tank? A pyramid and a beam of light against a black sky? You no longer know where you are or what is real. You have entered the Matrix. The pain is one thing that is undoubtedly genuine. It rushes over you, each wave worse than before, until you are submerged. You feel like you're being born or reborn, made anew by someone or something that cares little about what you're feeling and whether or not you live through it. Hello, Blue Hero and Hazardous, Jesse Ward, and SJ. As the last device powers up and adds its hum to the others, the waves of agony coming from the tank become stronger still. And then abruptly, the pain is gone. The visions continue, but your mind has gone numb to the torment emanating from the thing in the tank. You are looking down upon Madoran from high above, watching the city from an invisible peak somewhere above the abyss, and you are full of an all-consuming, inexplicable rage. The only thing you wished for was peace, yet it was always denied you. This city is the source of your torment. The city and its ever-growing thousands, crawling like insects through your brain, poisoning your sleep with their endless questions and thoughts and worries. This is all your fault, Dagfish. Your rage overwhelms you and you lash out. When your fury is unleashed, it is not in the form of a fist or sword or spear, but something larger, something huge, immensely powerful and beautiful. Where buildings, entire districts once stood, now there is dust. Where men and women and children lived, there are only bloody stains. The screams in your mind are like music, for they are not the actual cries of the dying thousands, but better, the final tortured thoughts of the city, which has troubled your peace for the last time. You lash out, again and again, until the loose bricks of the mountains and the rubble are perfect in their silence, and then the fog descends, covering all. The swift and merciless destruction of Madaron by an unknown force strikes terror into every heart. The millennia-old city once stood a symbol of resilience of mankind in the face of catastrophe, and it was extinguished like a candle without warning or reason, leaving behind nothing but shallow ruins beneath a deadly mist. Vindicated at last, Lord Meru's rhetoric reaches fever pitch, and new followers flock to him, desperately seeking someone to save them from impending divine judgment. Others, unconvinced by stories of wrathful deities, speak in hushed, fearful tones of the Magi and the Great War, of the dread powers they unleashed on the world, powers terrible enough to shatter the greatest empire the world had ever known. Unwittingly, you managed to wake up the god that slept beneath the abyss. Maddened by the centuries spent in the tank, the creature lashed out at the human hive around it, destroying the entire city. Well done! Beyond the I don't know, Zacta. Beyond the embers of your dying campfire, you first mistook the light of the holy city for a new constellation, so high were they above the horizon. Over the next 2 days, the craggy profile of Castle Ganazar sets the caravan's course, as if it were a lighthouse guiding you across the plain. The city's magic and mystery fades, however, as you come closer. The famous citadel squats grim and unadorned atop its massive hill, with the city arranged in cascading levels on the slopes beneath, like rings of fungus choking the last vestiges of life from a ruined tree. Right here. Congratulations. Everybody's dead. Well, I mean, not everybody. These people are alive, right? That's cool. Is it? Yeah, it looks like we can't go to Madaron. That's... Okay. Okay. Streets-wise. Let's raise that. There we go. Okay. Well, let's head up here. Go up the way. Ignore the people being crucified. Why are we always crucifying people along the side of the roads? Oh my god, they're still alive. Heretics beware. Why are we here? Thank you, Time Lord Luke, very much as always. Much appreciate, and I will put that towards Steins Gate Elite. What are you looking for, Deckfish? I've been streaming for 7 minutes. What do you want from me? Okay. Stop right there, criminal scum! A pox-marked man looks dirty and unkempt, but speaks with a strange aura of authority, clearly enjoying his power to stop and question anyone he pleases. I like option 4 there, by the way. Several armed men are looming behind him, making the unspoken threat credible. The Crassus guards manning the gate show no reaction, either accustomed to it or being on the side of the zealots. Which lord do you owe your fealty to? I owe my fealty to Zera Hunter. Thank you, Zera Hunter. Very much, as always. I shall, of course, put that immediately towards Endwalker. So be it. Reaper. Or Sage, I guess. But Sage doesn't have 2 syllables, so... I needed something with 2 syllables. I have no idea, Trihexia. That is... your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, Chapter 4 I was quite happy with, despite the absolutely aggravating technical issues that chapter provided. I actually noticed 3 separate flaws as I was watching the premiere. I made a point not to mention them, because I didn't want other people to notice them. But every one of them stuck out like a beacon to me. I can't believe I missed them. You got it, Colin Peluso. Thank you for the bits, as always. Colin Peluso. Mother 3. Done. And thank you, as always, sir. So, I bow to no one but the gods who watch over us from their heavenly abode. Welcome to Ganazar, brother. Well, you've gained points. I mean, that is kind of the obvious choice, but it's funny that's a skill check to do that. Streetwise, too. That's funny. Let's see. Where we go? Where we going? Looks like we're going to 40 Thieves. Whoops. No, you're not a hassle deckfish. It's just, I was trying to figure out what you want. Because I don't have, like, normal stream commands set up. Unless I do, and I'm not even aware of them, which is entirely possible. Here, I think? That looks right. Alright, so that's set up here. You sure this isn't RuneScape? I mean, you know... Look at that wall texture. Look at it. Look at it. I mean, it's RuneScape or Half-Life. So. Oh, sorry. We need to actually fast travel here. Hang on, let's do that. Okay. Up the stairs. Do you see a man leaving? Goes by the name of Elias. Actually, no, I didn't. Okay. That was easy, I guess. Where's the inn? I don't even see the inn. Whatever, let's head up. Well, you can have the world, Deckfish, because, I mean, you looked around lately, I'm just saying. The tyranny of aim. I'm sorry, something about that makes me laugh. The tyranny of aim. We will save you from the tyranny of the AOL Instant Messenger. Alright, let's see. In. I actually used AIM for quite a while. I've bounced so many different chat programs over the decades since the internet came out. It used to be just AOL, then it was AIM, and then it was whatever ICQ program we used at the time, and then later it was MIRC, or actually I can't remember which one it was next. And then we moved over to the Microsoft one, which I can't even remember the name of, before Skype. And then later on we moved on to Skype. Then we just kind of hung out in Ventrilo for a while, because that had a chat and a voice thing. No, it was TeamSpeak before Ventrilo, my bad. So it was TeamSpeak, then it was for Ventrilo. Then we moved on to... I'm trying to remember what the next one was. I can't remember. We've been bouncing around forever. Because they keep ruining. That's what keeps happening. You ever notice that? I tried to go back to AIM a few years later. It's garbage now. Or at least it was garbage a few years ago. It's funny, really. Does anybody see an inn? There is an... Aha! An inn! I have found an inn. Okay, into the inn. Or I can just talk to him. Hey, what's up? Whoop, no, I'm not trying to steal from you, dude. I mean, I don't clip things. You all clip things, Blue Hero. Yeah, Discord will inevitably become bad as well. That's what always happens. And then we'll have to find another one. We're talking to Lavinius, right? Yep. The man is gazing blearily at nothing, lost in his thoughts. Gaius Lavinius? Laevinus? Whatever. Gaius Latin name? I don't know you, he says after a moment. Yeah, Domitius Ulpius sent me. I told Domitius to leave me alone. And I'll tell his lackeys the same. I got nothing to say to you. Listen, I was asked to find the temple. If there's any... I don't see a crossbow pointed at your head. Tell him you didn't find it. Everyone will be better off. You can thank me later for living a long life. Or long going at any rate. You have some strong opinions, considering you've never even seen the temple. Domitius said you never found it. That's right, we didn't find the damn temple. We didn't have to. He takes a deep breath, and, as if against his will, continues. We've all heard the tales, all powerful magi, pacts with demons, betrayals, destruction, stories from before history. The lore masters spill it all out for us, but we didn't really listen. And why would we? It happened centuries ago. Tales were outrageous. Legends, the war, the gods, the Centauri, they're all gone. Like all great works of the past, no more than dust and rubble, right? He smiles nervously. That's what we all thought. Till one day we stopped under that merciless desert to wipe the sweat from our eyes, looked about ourselves and found we had walked straight into those tales, and discovered just how real De Quack really is. So now you drink all day? I drink because nothing makes sense anymore. We and our fathers and our grandfathers have lived in the shadow of a volcano. For years it is silent, so you think it's dead, and then one day it rumbles. But you tell yourself you were mistaken. It must have been a cart of bricks tipping over the road. But then it rumbles again, and you realize it is not dead. It has slept for centuries and is about to awaken. Did you tell anyone about this? I did. They called me mad. Natural reaction to the inconceivable. That's why I came to Ganazar, where insanity is the norm, and to speak with sense won't get you stoned. Now I keep my mouth shut. Besides, what can I do? What can anyone do? Glug, glug, glug. So do you know where the temple is? The young are so eager to throw their lives away, and the world's so eager to take them from you. He drains his cup and lets it clatter to the ground. The temple is in the valley beyond the dead river. Has to be. Location fits. It's the only place we couldn't get to ourselves. Why is that, you ask? Oh, because we lost every man trying to get there. Every single man. But you! He claps you on the shoulder, and the friendly gesture is belied by his bitter voice. Oh, I have every confidence you will prevail where better men have failed. I remove his hand from my shoulder. Is crossing the river the only way into the valley? I think it's the easiest route. Stay away from the Hellgate. Screams. I can still hear them. Wait, Hellgate? Yes, Hellgate London. It was a terrible game. Terrible idea, and failed miserably. I wouldn't be surprised if none of your viewers even heard of it. Well, if the Hellgate London is unexplored, what makes you think it leads into the valley? Well, I found an old manuscript written from someone returning to a pilgrimage to the temple. From the end of the war, so the account is sketchy at best. Apparently the scribe went to seek refuge at the temple, a place he had visited many times before. The soldiers turned him back, but when he retraced his steps to the river crossing, it was struck by a terrifying weapon. His account read, day turned into night, men and ships burned, and water and sky switched places. I've read such stories before, but this one I believed every word of it. It made no embellishment, no fancy words. It was nothing but an honest record of sheer horror. The scribe went back, not to the temple, but to what he described as the command center under the mountains. He begged and pleaded, and the guards eventually allowed him to pass. So you think the Hellgate is the command center? Has to be. Temple, river crossing, mountains. Fits. Do you know of any other places? The ruins are everywhere, but the low-hanging fruit has been picked a long time ago. One of the zealots did mention that a hole in the ground opened up and swallowed his friend whole. If you want to look, you can add to that. Thank you. Yeah, I should mention Emperor Valerian. I fell for it, too. Me and my friends did. This was back in an era where I wasn't doing... Why, Wilson? It worked out so well. This was back in an era where me and my friends weren't doing as much research on games as is more common nowadays. So all we heard was, the makers of Diablo are making a third-person action MMO. Sold, right? We actually beat the game. In like 2 days, I want to say. Because there's just so little content. And it's so repetitive. It was just... final boss. It's like, that's it? That's it? Alright, well, I guess we'll wait for the patch content, which never came. Kessel. Kessel. I've been thinking about this for a bit. I think I want to add a plus to story for the music. Which isn't that unusual, but where a music plus or a music negative goes depends on what it adds to the game, right? You know, some music is just bopping and you're just going, yeah, and you're playing the game more better, or it's informing the game or whatever, right? So usually music sits on the gameplay axis. But yeah, this music so much adds to the atmosphere and tone that I think putting that plus in the positive bucket is more useful here. So, the ambiance, atmosphere, tone of the bleak and desolate music really adds. I know it's weird, right, S. Diesel? There's games that have good things in them. I lost all hope after Quest 64. But now I know the truth. Kingdom Hearts is positives. All right. So, Castle Bonito. So I ended up accidentally spoiling something for myself. It's a very minor thing, but there is apparently a quote-unquote worst ending in this game. And I looked into what it requires. I didn't understand most of the stuff it said, because it was like, such and such has to do this, and I don't know the names. But I did notice one requirement for the worst ending. You have to kill all 3 lords of the 3 cities. Now that amuses me, because that means killing the lords of all 3 cities is on the table. Which I'll admit, I didn't even think was something that was possible. Like, when you go through Neverwinter Nights, you don't think of, can I kill Lord Nasher? It's not even possible, right? It's not something the game allows. Apparently, it is possible to kill them. Anyways. Alright, so. In Castle. I mean, I'm tempted to look up a worst ending playthrough. It just... my name is Gaius. I seek an audience with Lord Meru. You aren't welcome here. I bring urgent news. Madaron is gone. We've heard rumors, but nobody knows anything. Come inside. Brother Meru will want to question you. Okay. Good afternoon, Dubai. I don't know, Mike Romano. I do not know. So there's Meru. Wow, look at this castle. It's got like 5 identical rooms in it. That's impressive. Look at that. Oof. I should make fun. It's big. This room is bigger than my apartment. That's a good question, Baron. All right, so what are we doing? We're talking to Meru. You're standing in front of Lord Meru. He's dressed in the Eastern manner and has an aura of humility and piousness about him. Although you can't say whether he's a humble and pious man or simply wants to come across as one. There are no guards in the room, nothing that would highlight his status and station. Lord Meru is only accompanied by a plainly dressed man with thinning hair and dark eyes that seems to penetrate your very soul. My lord.
There are no lords here, brother. Are we not all equal in the gods' eyes? We're measured only by our devotion and faith. Serve faithfully. Give yourself to the gods, and you too will stand one day where I stand now.
You have no guards? Mind shield? What? The hell is a mind shield?
Whatever. Who'd raise their hand against a servant of the gods? Of course, evil knows no bounds, but I have faith in Phelan.
He points to the man standing next to him.
He is more than capable of shielding me from harm.
The man smiles unpleasantly, still fixing you with his eyes. Suddenly his expression changes, going from cocky to confused. He fixes you with his eyes one more time, face straining with effort, and gives up on whatever he was trying to do. I guess I shield myself from his psychic attack? I don't know.
Gods have blessed Phelan with great powers, far above those of mere mortals,
says Meru, unaware of what just happened.
He was lost for a long time, but he serves a great cause now, as do we all.
I bring urgent news. Madaron has been destroyed. I tell him what I've witnessed, omitting a few details. It actually says that in the text. I omit a few details. Yeah, I kind of woke up a vengeful, crazed thing that was just tired of the noise, and it sort of killed everyone. My B. So listen, I don't have much on me. I've got my my nail clippers. Okay, you can have that. I've got a pen. It's cool. It's got about half the ink left. And my brush. That's going to be my penance for accidentally killing thousands of people. My bad. Okay, if we're cool here, I'm going to go ahead and head out. Get me a pint.
Praise the gods,
Whispers Meru, closing his eyes for a moment.
They have sent us a sign. No longer will they tolerate sin and blasphemy. No longer will they tolerate the false shepherds leading the flock astray. The hour of their rebirth draws near. Okay. If the gods truly sent you here, you will pass their judgment, and I will abide with it. Wait, what? Meru takes you deeper and deeper into the castle. Two stone-faced guards appear out of nowhere the moment you leave the audience chamber and follow you, taking a few steps behind. Eventually, Meru stops in front of an old metal platform. We're almost there, he says anxiously, inviting you to join him. One of the guards throws the switch and the platform starts a slow descent into the bowels of the castle. The platform comes to a stop near an ancient gate, two slabs of dark metal bearing the golden symbol of House Crassus. Your destiny awaits you. Be warned, many went through this door over the years, yet few come out. If you have doubts, turn away for faith. Turn away, for faith is your only shield when presented with the gods. Okay, I'll walk through. It's a teleporter. I've been through like 3 of these already. You enter a massive, strangely decorated chamber, but at once step back, dizzied from an abyss. Above, the rock ceiling is hewn with arcane symbols, while at your feet is open space. I've been to space, yo. This is uncanny, unnatural sorcery beyond your imagination. You shrink from it instinctively, as if pushed by an invisible hand against the reassuring firmness of the stone wall. Machinery hums on all sides, giving the impression that this chamber is but one part of a humongous complex. Pipes of all sizes snake in and out of the walls beneath the lip of the parapet, glowing deeper down where the wall ends meet, or where the walls end and the black sky begins. Finally, you're able to drag your eyes up to the walkway leading out to the abyss. The throne there seems to wait for one worthy enough to claim it. It beckons to you. You pause to consider. Yeah. For the greater the technology, the greater the need for caution. You search your memory for any reference to which might apply to this place and recall a tractate dedicated to an ancient artifact similar to what you've discovered here. The device was created to detect tears in the fabric of the world. These tears were said to be incredibly rare, and the description of their exact cause is more or less gibberish to you. An unspecified event where, in defiance of the natural order, some cosmic waves failed to collapse, which created a physical anomaly which occupies the same space in 2 different dimensions simultaneously. The hills on which Castle Ganazar was built are supposedly erected from the plain for defensive purposes, though it seemed much easier and cheaper to simply choose an existing hill. Could it be that House Crassus raised the hill specifically to enclose and study one of these tears, which happens to manifest itself hundreds of feet above the ground? Nah. Okay, so this, yep, that's space. Yep, there's space. And a throne. I would not call that a throne, but, you know, whatever. Well, no, that's a freaking captain's chair. Look, it's got the panels on the side. Get the red alert going, put the shields up. Hi, Javan. Hi, Layla. Okay. So this is terrifying. But we've come this far, right? We've only woken up one god and wiped out one city. What's the worst that can happen? The throne seems to wait for one worthy enough, powerful enough, so we take a seat. Another mind shield. What are we getting that from? Ever so slowly, you ease yourself into the seat, expecting, dreading what might happen. The chair is hard and uncomfortable, but except for the palms tingling, it seems ordinary. A moment later, there comes a sound like approaching voices, but it quickly fades away as if breaking against an invisible barrier. Okay. Let me go ahead and allow the voices to come through, because that's a smart decision. Athazor's will is strong. The words ring in your mind, the vibration seeming to bounce from the inside of your skull. After a moment of silence, a terrifying vision rears before you. A humongous being resembling an octopus or a jellyfish with a dome-like head with a multitude of constantly shifting, probing appendages. Where these tentacles trail, reality tears in their wake. Is this the entity the Magi called Athazor? I can sense Athazor's gift in you, protecting your feeble brain. Without it, my attempt to connect our minds would drive you mad. The strident voice is actually your own, your aching jaw opening and closing as your mouth channels the thoughts of the outside entity. No, totally, Trihexia. This is a GM who hates his players and wants them to die.
Mercifully, the creature fades from view and the perspective changes. You are looking down at a brighter square in the darkness of the void. The room you're in now. As if rifling through the pages of a thick tome, you see a series of people sitting in that self-same chair, all reaching out to the entity, each of them killed outright or driven to gibbering insanity. When the last of these have been destroyed, you see yourself and understand that you are an insect. Too small, usually, even to be noticed, too low to be contemptible.
You're weak, feeble-minded, and alone. Yet here you are.
Who are you?
My kind does not define itself as the bleeding sounds of lesser beings. Your kind calls us the Yazatas, worthy of worship.
A huge square of people kneeling, heads touching the ground.
From a long dead language they called me Balzar.
Bal meant to cross over.
Zar meant vessel, thus the one who crossed over and was poured into a vessel. A crude attempt to describe a god.
I'm sorry, a vessel.
It's the only way.
A flood of confused images follows. An anchor, a naked man laid out for surgery, a human brain exposed to glaring blue light, his fleshly, scarred body convulsing, and finally, at the apex of a pyramid, an unnatural light pouring upward from the heavens. Hold up. Hold on a second. What? So, the ancients ripped extra-dimensional beings out of the extra dimensions and shoved them into people by carving open their brains and doing something with a pyramid. If I'm reading that right. You call yourself a god. It is your word, human. The concept is imprecise, but it describes my kind far better than you can imagine. So what is your kind?
We know neither beginning nor end.
It's the Reapers.
We exist because we wish to exist. We do not struggle for every breath, for we draw none.
Alright, so if you're so mighty, what do you want with us?
Your kind awakened us, enticed us with false promises, tried to enslave us.
Yeah, okay. Look, so that's... That's so godly now, are we? What can you tell me about the one named Thoragoth?
Thoragoth. He was almost human in his foolishness. Found himself imprisoned in a mortal body for centuries. Buried in the tomb his acolytes built.
Tomb? You see a sprawling temple complex with a ziggurat rising in the center. Okay, so what do you want me to do?
Serve me. Bring Meru to Alakia. Complete the ritual.
How would I do it? You see a large pyramid and unnatural light pouring upwards into it. It's a sky beam, so we're officially crossing over into the MCU. You're standing high atop a structure, and everywhere you turn your gaze, impossible distances are revealed. The Empire is laid at your feet, and it crawls with pale, puny things, bowing and scraping. Creatures which fear and serve you. The creatures are men. They are what you used to be.
Yes, yes. I can become the god of the new world.
Sorry. Okay, well, to the door. Meru. Hey, Meru. What's up? Hey, bro.
You're alive. The gods found you worthy of their blessing.
Yeah, it's not the words I would use. So, yeah, I'm super humbled and all that, but I'm gonna conquer your entire planet. I just want you to know that. It's totally gonna go really well. I'm definitely... Damn it, Wilson. I was telling Pax about that. He was cracking up. Probably the funniest thing that's happening. I mean, I died like 10 times, but the funniest thing is still that moment where I go through this whole quest chain and stand in line for hours to visit the guy who summoned me, and then at the end be thrown out before I could even get out a proper sentence to him.
So what did they tell you?
They said our destinies are intertwined. Yep. And we're totally going to bring the God's Kingdom to Earth. It's going to be great, buddy.
Oh, it's the sign I've been waiting for. An expedition is leaving for Alakia tomorrow. I want you to join it.
I will, brother.
I like that idea, Dr. Winter. We'll take over the world and then be like, alright, I summon you, Lord. I can't even remember his name right now. He's like, I live to serve. Good. Get out. And then we summon him again. I think we are, John. I think we're going full evil. I'm not really trying to. This is not the any % route. That's much shorter. I'm kind of thinking about trying that out, too. What news do you bring? I'm ready to join the expedition. Okay. On the morning of your departure, you discover you'll be traveling in the company of 4 grizzled lore masters and a small detachment of Crassus guards. During... Clumsy evil, I like it. CE, clumsy evil. During the journey, you learn these lore masters aren't your typical weekend market hucksters. They learned their trade in the old-fashioned way, robbing tombs and fighting off brigands. They're also in charge of the expedition, dictating where and when the party will stop in order to accommodate the constant referencing of stars and landmarks against their maps. These consultations regularly lead to heated arguments, almost to the point of blows, all in a language only they understand. The guards just keep to themselves. 6 long days under the naked sun brings you close to the ruins of Alakia, which at first seems to consist of nothing but miniature pyramids, barely taller than a grown man. Closer examination of the area reveals 4 derelict structures peeking out from the sand, equidistant to the middle. Oh my god. Thank you very, very much for the sub. Polika Shalu, which I'm probably pronouncing incredibly wrong. I do apologize. But I still appreciate it. Thank you. If you know where you want that to go, please let me know. Meru's men cluster around the pyramid as if they wish to throw themselves upon it, but instead begin to whisk sand from its markings with little horsehair brushes. In contrast to their vocal exchanges of the last week, they now speak in... I lost my place. In excited whispers. Eventually, they shift their attention to the other structures. 2 men dusting them off and a third making notations on their chaunts. While they go about their examinations, you deduce that the 3 piles of masonry stones are atop 3 towers. What you are seeing is the highest level of a sprawling complex, long buried beneath the sand. At last, the lore masters fall silent, nodding to themselves in satisfaction. Whatever the reasons, they have settled on the last tower, the one they like the best. Bloodborne, you got it. That might tip it over the ledge. I mean, edge. It might tip it over the ledge, too, but that's unrelated. It's really close to funny. It's like 98%. One of the lore masters takes the legatus aside and says something to him. The legatus nods, walks up to the tower top, and disappears inside.
We wait,
says the lore master, his eyes shining with religious fervor. Well, you haven't really been seeing combat, Javan, because I actually haven't gotten into combat this particular playthrough. Which is probably a good thing, because so far my one attempt at a full combat build failed so horribly I couldn't get past the tutorial arena fight, so... Where's the lore master? Where am I? Oh, there I am. Yeah, we're still a thief. We've still got just our rags on. We're just some random thief. I love it. Look at us. We're intelligent and perceptive. And we're a frickin' thief. Like Gorillas. Yeah, we also have the ability to one-shot enemies through dialogue. Which is rather amusing. Oh, and we destroyed a city. Can you feel it, brother? So, I'm sorry, what is this complex? You're looking at Alakia, birthplace of the gods. I'm sorry, the birthplace? The gods dwell in a higher plane than we... I don't know how to sound drugged. He's supposed to sound drugged. How do you sound drugged? To walk the earth, they need human bodies, man. Like, if the machines are intact, we can do it again. Bring back the gods, man. Wait, where would you get the bodies? And what faithful wouldn't welcome a chance to be blessed by gods and serve a holy vessel? It's the highest honor. Man. So hang on, what are we waiting for? Well, according to the construction plans, this entire complex was built to minimize exposure to the outside elements, so if the way down is clear, we should be able to gain access to the main building. And then what? Well, if the machines are intact, we can bring back the gods. It's... okay. What do the machines have to do with it? Well... we wiped out a city by accident, random. How else would the gods come to our plane? The stories say the gods descended from heaven, but only a fool would take them literally. It took decades of work and thaumaturgical engines, the likes of which the world has never seen again. Pray the engines are intact. So hang on, how do you bring back the gods? Well, you need to open a connection between the divine plane and ours. You need a vessel, you need a thaumaturgical engine, and his speech is interrupted. Oh my gosh, it's Aurelian soldiers! So, we could have combat here, Javan, but we're going to run. I don't think we even have a weapon. That just occurred to me. I literally don't think we have a weapon. Okay, well, they've been stopped. That's cool. You know what? You know where I want to go? I want to go to the Hellgate. That sounds like a place for me. Which of these is the Hellgate? Is this the Hellgate? Okay, that's Tehran, that's Saras, that's the bandit camp, that's the mining outpost. Ganazar, old facility, Infuriate, Dead River, Zamadi. Where's the Hellgate? Oh, there's the Hellgate. Hellgate! Let's do it! Hellgate London time. I've already made all the jokes about that, so we're just going to move on. Alright. Long ago, a hunting party from a desert tribe pursued a strange triple-horned beast into the mountains and discovered a towering metal door set into the stone cliffside. They later revisited the site with wise men and tools for breaking rock. With no idea how to open the door itself, the desert folk chiseled through the stone jamb and inside. The great treasure of ancient weapons, magic charms, and precious metals awaited them. While looting the complex, another hidden door, this one in the floor, was revealed quite by accident. It accessed the lower levels. The shaman decreed that the great treasure was a ruse, a distraction to placate fools. As their tribe was clearly not comprised of fools, it only made sense to send a scouting party to explore further. The scouts descended into the blackness, and others waited. Waking from the dark dreams of weirdly angled corridors and chambers, of indistinct shapes always at the edge of vision, the shaman heard a low moaning from the doorway, like wind from the bowels of the earth. The scouting party did not return. The shaman was angered and held its hidden folk beneath the mountain responsible for this turn of events. He gathered the strongest amongst the tribe to form a war party. They prayed and fasted through a long... That's a great idea. Let's fast before a fight. Making shallow cuts in their flesh. That's another great idea. Let's bleed ourselves while fasting before a battle. Smearing red clay on their faces. As dawn, the war party descended with the shaman's strongest blessings. The war party did not return. Probably because they passed out in the desert from freaking blood sugar issues. Giving up on whatever secret... if they'd taken a cookie... Giving up whatever secrets lay but buried in the mountain, the tribe set its artisans to carve the ornate facade of a temple into the mountain, a shrine to the brave warriors whose spirits were trapped forever in the underworld. For the first and only sacrifice to the temple, they performed a ritual called the Impalement of the Three Suns. How the hell does that work? Passed down from their ancestors at the dawn of the world. The name designated both the three bright wounds of the three stakes of the flesh, and a number of sunrises he who was offered would expect to see before enjoying the merciful embrace of death. The shaman protested at length that this ancient tradition did him too much honor, but his modesty was roundly ignored. So, in honor to the shaman, they crucified him, and he's like, no, I don't deserve this. No, it's cool. You totally deserve this crucifixion. Here, hold still. This is... I wish I was this guy, I gotta be honest. Okay, so, welcome to Not Petra. Population. Hang on, we need to raise lockpicking. 2, 6, there we go. Anything else we gotta raise? Nope, okay. Looks like we're done leveling forever. Enter Hellgate London. Sorry, I said I wouldn't make any more jokes. Okay, what do we got? Nice place. Oh, there's an elevator. Let's go to the elevator. 20% of players have done that. Hey, there's a dead body. You see a dead man slumped against the wall. It looks like he crawled here and bled to death from many cuts covering his body. He's clutching a strange metal ball the size of an apple, covered with strange protuberance. Oh, let's look at it. It's a magical weapon of the olden days, said to be more powerful than 10 black powder bombs. So we loot that. The striker. An hour later, we're holding in our hands a new and vastly improved detonator. If vastly improved means it can go off at any moment. Holding your breath, you insert it back and twist the lock in place. The rest seems simple. Push the detonator to arm it, and if it doesn't explode instantly, throw it at the enemy. Why did we need a mega bomb? Oh, that's probably why right there. Yeah, no, that's probably a good reason to have a mega bomb. Yes, that's actually the second time we've used crafting in this whole playthrough. Oh, we need to equip that. Hang on. Bomb on the belt bag? I don't know what that means, but it's there. Oh, it means we can just use it right there. Okay. Go past the bridge. At first glance, it appears to be some kind of hideous shrine or statue, a metal spider rearing up on back legs, but taking a few steps forward, you see it's a machine, a mechanical construct straight out of some sorcerer's nightmare. The top half is humanoid, with arms ending in blades, and not the kind used for chopping vegetables. The upper part is perched on 4 spike-tipped legs, any one of them long enough to run a man through. Its once polished surface is scarred and dented, the armor rent in many places, and it sits somewhat askew. The construct is a veteran of many battles. The head pivots ever so slightly in your direction. It sees you, but makes no move towards the doorway. Charge! Okay, this is the most brilliant thing I've ever done. We're gonna fight this thing. I'm ready. First, what we're gonna do is wait. There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna throw the bomb at its feet, which I guess is right here. It's hard to tell. I suppose this is our first combat, this whole thing. We win! The moment the construct goes down, a small man runs out of hiding. He walks around the dead machine, examining it with childlike curiosity, then looks at you. It's dead, the man informs you. Sorry. It's dead, Jim, he says, like a physician offering his expert medical opinion. Who are you? Ben Tanagduda, Lore Master Extraordinaire. And what are you doing here, Benny? I was exploring. Our mechanical friend didn't like it and chased me into a maintenance hole. Fascinating mechanism, don't you think? How long have you been here? 37 days. 892 hours. And how did you survive? Rats. It's not ideal, but, more than sustainable. They don't taste bad as you think. Very pungent, like a rabbit. Definitely sustainable. What do you know about this place? This place? Well, I didn't get very far. Then why did you come here in the first place? What were you looking for? A spear. To reclaim my father's throne. What happened to your father? They killed him. And my brothers, too. They killed everyone but me. Now I have to find the spear. It's called the Divine Spear. It said whoever wields it will not be denied. I need it. He says that as if it explains everything. I'm sorry, where are you from? East. Months of travel. So you're going to grab that spear, march home, and proclaim what is actually yours? I have to. You don't really strike me as a fighting man. That's why I need the spear. Nothing can stand it. If you promise to help me find the spear, I'll help you get past these constructs. There's more constructs? There's a lot more. If you know a way to pass them, why'd you spend months eating rats in a maintenance hole? Hi, Ross. These constructs don't attack each other. Why? Because they know that another construct isn't a threat. How do they know it, you ask? I'll tell you if you agree to find the spear for me. Okay. How do I know I can trust you? I think I had a wrong dialogue here. Yeah, I totally did. Well, no, I guess not. Alright, I didn't come here for the spear, so I'll gladly trade it for your help. This place is dangerous and I need an ally more. I need another weapon. I don't trust you. Okay. Save. So. Alright, I'll look for the spear for you. I saved your life, you ungrateful... Oh, I get it, okay. I saved your life, you ungrateful bastard. If not for me, you'd have died in that hole. Give me a break here. The man looks at you for a long moment, looking for any signs of dishonorable intentions. I mean, we only killed one city, okay? That's one mark against us. He kneels next to the vanquished construct and goes through his innards in a surprisingly efficient way. He pulls out different parts, commenting on their design and praising the ingenuity of the ancients until he finds what he's looking for. A strange-looking, oil-dripping thingamajig with loose wires. What the heck is a samoflange? Sorry. The man wipes out the grease and oil, ties the wires together, and turns it into a handy protection amulet. Put it around your neck where they can see it. Okay. Cool. Okay. Well, let's save. And go down the middle path. Lockpicking, which we just needed. Disabled the generator. Then I guess we go to the treasure room? Where are we going? Is this the treasure room? That looks like the treasure room. Okay, so let's go save. Go this way. Oh, yep, let's go this way. It was flesh and blood. God, there's a lot of these. Can you imagine fighting through this? I'm sure that's an option. There are a lot of these mechs here. Okay, treasure room. I want that chest. The divine spear really is a spear. It's a strange weapon, strangest weapon you've ever seen. Too thick and too heavy. It wasn't made for human hands. Only a giant would be able to hurl this thing at his enemies. That looks like a missile to me. Okay, let's go back. Where'd Ben go? I lost him. Oh, there he is. Hey, Ben. Did you find it? Here, have the spear. It's beautiful. None shall stand before it. None! Okay. Let's leave, I guess. I think. I'm not actually sure what it wants me to do here. Yeah, I think we've just destroyed another city. Hang on, something's weird here. Let me go there, because that's the console. Hang on, let's get a save. Let's go here. Yeah, I don't need the loot. Talk too much. That's fine. There's a chest there, too. As far as you can tell, the semi-sphere is carved from a single crystal and polished to perfection. It's framed in a large metal band covered with dimly glowing symbols. You touch one symbol and the crystal surface changes almost instantly, tiny fracture lines appearing, rearranging themselves and disappearing as they come. We fail. Okay, wow. Too dumb. What do we need? Int 10 for that? Okay. Oh my god, there's freaking lasers. Considering our lore is only 8! Oh my god. That's... wow, okay. Well, to Google, because I screwed up somewhere. One moment, please. I mean, there were a lot of those freaking mechanical death things down there, and there were lasers, so, you know. So, two of my walkthroughs, which are both about this, both indicate that we should have already beaten the game as of talking to Ben. I'm not sure why the game didn't conclude. And that's why I'm a little confused here. Like, the final instruction is talk to Ben the last time and hit 1 several times, which is what we did. We gave him the nuke, or whatever the hell it is. Disabling the generator appears to turn off the lasers. Gotta say that right. Lasers. Is there something I missed in here? Yeah, this is the final dungeon. Something with the chest? Nope. Huh. What's in this chest? Sure, I mean, whatever. Okay. One moment. Let's watch a VOD. See what we screwed up here. Whoops, wrong thing. Okay. First thing we do is mute it. Play. Okay, so there he is. He's at the corpse. He got the bomb. He rushes forwards. He equips the bomb at his belt. He waits a turn, throws the bomb at the mob, talks to Ben. Agrees to do his stuff. Gets a cutscene we didn't get. And the game's over. What? Hang on. Okay, so there's the mob. Hang on just a sec. Talks to Ben the second time, agrees to help him, goes to the door, goes to that door, disables the generator. Okay, no, that was a Twitch glitch. Okay, so hang on. So we go to the door, we open the chest, we get the nuke, or whatever it is. We run back to Ben. We talk to him, we give him the nuke. There's a loading screen. As we go with him. And then that's the end of the game. Okay, hang on. Maybe we missed something when we were talking to him. Let's rewind a bit here. Is this before or after we talked to him? This is after. Let's go back before that. He's there. Where are we? Lost us. Okay, this is right after we disabled the gate. Okay, so we're gonna go up here. Oops, oops, oops. Let's go up here. Door. Hello, Michael Javier. Door. Get the nuke. I'm assuming it's a nuke. I don't know what it is. I mean, look at that thing. Spear. Whatever. Back here. Save before we talk to him. Talk to him again. Here's the spear. All right. Yeah, what do we got under completed quests? You gave the Divine Spear to Benny, as promised. Hopefully you'll be far away when he spites his enemies with it. Well, I have no idea how to end the game at this point. I've been following the walkthrough pretty linearly, and I apparently missed something somewhere, because the game's supposed to be over now. So, I have no idea what I screwed up there. So, anyways, so that's the game. Let's see if I can at least pull up the dialogue there. I'm not done anyways, but, you know, we're kind of... Yeah. That looks an extremely large amount like a bug to me. Okay, so we talked to him. Hang on, let's make this slightly larger. Okay, so hang on. So let me just make this full screen really quick. You step the portal and wait for Benny. He arrives a few moments later, his eyes wide with wonder. My gods! We must study it! Let's not get sidetracked, Benny. Remember what we're here for. Of course, of course. Hello? There we go. Oh my god, that goes by so quickly. Does Twitch's VOD have like a frame thing like YouTube does? Does anybody know? Like you can frame advance? Because that'd help me read this. Wait to see if anybody knows anything about that. Same keys. Okay, so let's do that. That's not frame. What's okay? That's not frame advancing. Right. Nope. No. That did not frame advance. It did slow it down, but you know that might work. That might work. Okay, so so we go. Okay, so. What? So we talked to Benny and he says, here, I will have to part your flesh, cut these wards into your bones, and fill them with blue steel. We need proper facilities or you'll never survive the procedure. I know just the place. So then we go. This is just, it's really slow. Go, loading. So then we get there, and he's like, oh my god, it's so amazing. Then he says, drink this. It's a mandrake extract. It'll numb the pain and make you sleepy. So we drink the extract. Your awareness returns gradually, bringing pain with it. It comes in all shapes and colors. Hot, red, searing pain. Dull, throbbing pain that feels gray. White, vision-distorting pain, and your personal favorite, the blinding back pain that makes you feel like your blood vessels in your head are about to explode. Master Runner, can you hear me? Asks Benny, looking concerned. How long was I out? 3 days, he says. Thought I lost you. You were burning with fever for the first 2 days. I kept changing the bandages and praying. Can you stand? Slowly you get up. The pain becomes unbearable and you almost fall. I hate to alarm you, but if we don't perform the ritual soon, you might not make it. Alright, well, we go ahead to perform the ritual. We have another loading screen. Even when we're winning, we're losing. You walk slowly towards the 7 sarcophagi, one of which waits with the lid raised on metal hinge, like an open maw. Benny is trembling with excitement as he assists you into the container, reminding you of an overeager priest ushering an elderly nun into his coffin. The interior looks uncomfortable, like the inside of a drain pipe, but as you recline, the surface yields and reforms itself into the shape of your body. One might assume this feature is for the subject's comfort, but after Benny has secured a bizarrely shaped helmet over your head and strapped you and your legs into place, you realize that you are unable to shift your position in the slightest. The lid descends without a whisper to enclose you completely, and your mind races in preparation for what is to come. The chamber... Oh, God, that goes by quick. I lost one. Hang on. God dang, I wish I had frame advance. That goes by very quickly. Okay. Hang on. Give me a second. Things I go through. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Then we go to the sarcophagus. I think it's literally like 1 frame per thing, so this is going to be a little bit hard to catch. Okay, so... you return to the darkness of the sarcophagi, and your primal instinct, your will to survive at all costs, is something the immortal entity cannot understand. With the assistance of the wards, the focus of your intelligence, which was a constitution check, an in check, you push the invader back, leaving it confused. I think I missed one. Something tries to take our mind. I saw it. It's just going by very quickly. You realize that simply defying the other is not enough. Instead, you must isolate one of its directives, trying to find a way to communicate with the... I don't know what that says. Your attack takes the subtle... the entity by surprise. I can't read this. This is so garbled. This text is going by so quickly. It's literally garbled. Like, you know how when you have a stream up, it artifacts stuff? It's artifacting the text so hard because it's going by so quickly. Your rage carries the fight as I can read this one. Your rage carries the fight as you punish the weakened entity with everything you've got, extinguishing its directives faster than they arise. Your body has begun to break under the stress of the struggle, but racked with pain and bleeding from your nose and ears, you consume the enemy consciousness, absorbing it into your own. Your awareness changes and expands. You become aware of your own form as if it were laid out before an omniscient master surgeon. You note with annoyance that your heart is about to give up, and in the next instant it has been repaired and strengthened beside. As an afterthought, you create some improvements as well. The inefficiency of your body becomes obvious in a way you'd never considered before. Why burn a torch to defeat the darkness when you simply expand your visual range into different spectrums? The whole system of extracting oxygen from the air and carrying it into cells is laughable. You spend some time adding redundant systems and extending an internal carapace to shield your lower organs. After so much hard work to accomplish your goals, it wouldn't do to be slain by a stray missile or energy weapon. When you are satisfied, you reach out with your mind to manipulate a switch in the base of the sarcophagus, and the lid is smoothly raised. You step out into the chamber. Benny drops to his knees and prostrates himself before you. He will be rewarded. He is the first person to recognize your divinity and the first man to submit to your will. But he will not be the last. I think there's like one last screen here. Maybe. Might be. Hang on. Yep, here we go. From the Holy Scriptures... My gosh. From the Holy Scriptures of the year 241 of the eternal reign of the one God, may his light banish every shadow, in the dawn of the world where lived a mighty kingdom of men. This kingdom grew and prospered, and these men knew not war or suffering, for they were humble and obedient to the laws of the gods. But those who dwell in the voids were envious of whispers and lies. Did they create a great army and brought war upon the kingdom of man? It was a war unlike any other, where gods fought amongst men. Terrible weapons were reduced the great cities to cinders and fertile lands to desert, and the gods were slain. In the dark age which followed, brother turned against brother, and without the guidance of the gods, the men were cast low, becoming no better than beasts. But hope was lost until a wise few at last turned away from the whispers and the lies. Through their prayer and sacrifice, the one god was reborn in a mortal vessel, birthed onto our plane. He shed the chrysalis of his mortal form in place of a more fitting body. For all things serve the one God, even flesh itself. Behold, he said, for I am thy God. Kneel before me, and I will rule over you. But the shadow of the void yet lay upon much of the world, and those who were more beast than man rose up against him. Are you not going to continue? Of course you're not, because the speedrun's over. Okay, that sucks. There's more to that. I'm trying to figure out where I could find that. Let's try this. Nope, that's nope. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, I'm checking the wiki. See if I can find a reading of that. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Oh, this is tiny, but I can read it. The beastmen did bring battle to the old one god, and after 100 days they learned the full lesson of his strength and will, for both are inexhaustible. He slew the beastmen by the thousands and rained fire upon their cities and crops, and all that they held dear was destroyed. On the 100th day, wise men emerged from the still burning ruins and knelt. They brought news that the beastmen had been extinguished, and only the humble and obedient remained. It pleased him to hear this. He ordered them to raise up a temple to praise him, and a new city around it. He ordered the ruins, both old and recent, destroyed, for they were infected with the whispers and lies of those who dwelt in the void, and so eradicated the ancient poison that turned men into beasts. As in the first days, the city grew and prospered. When the servants of the one god grew too numerous for his city, he chose the 3 wisest of his high priests and ordered them to build a new city, where they would rule in his name and follow his laws. At the end. So hang on. So we got the surgical kit. I'm trying to see what we missed for this. Access the medical chamber, which we did. Alakia. Don't allow Meru to live. Interesting. Okay, we got that. Enter the Hellgate. Yep. Got the Divine Spear. Yep. Get the Divine Spirit of Ben. Acquire about the... have a minimum of 7 con and 7 int. So you can literally die in the ending. What's our con and int? 7 con and 8 and 9 int. Okay. And then, yeah, the end. That's funny. Wow. That's horrible. Okay. Okay, so... I mean, that does appear to be the appeal, Javan. Is the... No. Punch. Okay, so hang on. We're not actually done with the game yet. I feel like we could squeeze some more out of this, and I do think... Let's look at our notes. Let's look at our review first, because we are still analyzing this work. I'm going to get rid of that negative, but... Let's see. Visual distinction, fast travel, fast branching, game. Yeah, no, that's pretty horrible. We just... what's funny is if you really think about the character path we went through. Follow me through on this, right? We're some random thief. We get caught by the local thieves guild, so we work for the local thieves guild. And then we go and we end up, with no prompting or reason, sneaking into the local lord's manor to deliver him a map. We successfully kill several of his guards, sneak in, deliver the map, and he says we are part of divine whatever. So he decides to employ us and send us to this second city. Whereupon we immediately change paymasters to the second lord, and then go on a random well dive to find a teleporter. Whereupon we find a breathing apparatus, which is very important. We'll come back to that in a minute. Then we go into the nightmare deathscape that nobody wants to go into, which is this giant crater. Successfully survive it, because we have the respirator. and accidentally wake up a deity who kills the local city. Then we go to Religious Town, immediately sign up, speak with the surviving deity, say, yeah, we're on your side, buddy, we got your back. Travel here to the Hellgate. Actually, no, first we travel to this place where they're going to use this machine to wake up the gods. We get ambushed, and then we bail. Then we go to the Hellgate, go down to the thing, find a nuke to get in good with this one dude, and in so doing, he agrees to become our servant and use these ancient mechanisms to infuse the deity's power into us, and we just kind of become the next deity. The end. And all of this happens in the course of, I want to say, like a month? Would I have managed to get here without a walkthrough? No, I'd be playing this for another week without a walkthrough. At least. Oh my god. Reading some, hang on. That's a little bit crazy, Wilson. Yeah, this feels like a game which is designed to be experimented on and iterated upon and broken, right? This feels like a game where they want you, the player, to break it, which I admit I don't actually get into. If I could use a parallel. Several people have compared this to a mean GM. I actually know someone in real life who is a GM exactly like this, but he's not really mean, as weird as that may sound. He is, in fact... He wants his players to know the game inside and out like he does, and he wants them to break the system in order to beat him. That's his goal with GMing. I know this, because he's a friend of mine, and we've talked about this a lot. And I just don't get into that, personally. No judgment, it's just, not my thing. I'm curious, hang on, so, okay. So we're gonna re-roll. Let's go and make a new game. I'm gonna try something a little differently. Yeah, no, new game. We need to be female this time, for some reason. We'll still be runner, make it easier. We are a merchant this time. We need to be 4, 4, 4, 9, 10, 9. Then we need impersonate 2, etiquette 3. Streetwise 2, crafting 4, lore 3, trading 2. Let's see if anything's new here, since we're playing a merchant this time around. So yeah, that's nothing new. That's nothing new. You make a living working for Linos, the head of the Commercium. Growing up in Tehran, you often passed by the Trading Plaza, where you'd see the Merchants Guild, the only building that wasn't falling apart, but stood proudly, displaying the power and confidence of its masters. From the first time you laid eyes on it, you knew that's where you wanted to be. The Commercium isn't as old as the other guilds. It doesn't boast an impressive lineage, but then again, it doesn't need to. It was an upstart, a new player that managed to do well when everything else was struggling to make ends meet. In a few decades, a small but ambitious and ruthless trading company eliminated or absorbed everyone else in the trading game and became one of those powerful guilds in the region. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what we're going to do for merchant. Any guesses? Hey, Xenon. I have some questions. Any tips? Never make your case a hard sell. A strong position presented at the outset, it gives your opponent something to hold on to and fight against. In other words, don't give them a clear target. Take your time, show some finesse. Okay, I'm out. Peace. Hey, Linos. Linos the Skull owed his nickname to his appearance, and his appearance to the decades of service to the Merchants Guild. It was that service that changed an enthusiastic youth with blue eyes and wavy auburn hair into a dispassionate old man with a bald neck and a cold, colorless eyes, seated deep within dark sockets. Business to Linos was a board game. He moved pieces and executed strategies, without taking the human element into consideration. A good opportunity shouldn't be missed because some people were standing in the way. I can't believe Gracius dared to come to Terran after all. That bastard. It's an insult. Gracius? The fat trader, remember? Caught him peddling his wares from Terran 6 months ago and threw him out. Well, he's back in town again. Talk to Nelios, Guildmaster of the Assassins. Ask him to take care of the problem for us. Here's the money, along with a little extra. Make sure he tells Gracius that we wish to remind him the fat bastard is still not welcome in his town before they cut his throat, or however it is they kill people. You're gonna kill a man for trading in your town? You're over-dramatizing the situation. Did the trader give me choice? No. If I do nothing now, tomorrow 10 traders will open shops here without paying. We must protect our interests. What about the laws? What about them? I'm not asking you to steal. I'm asking you to pay assassins to kill them. Do I need to do everything myself? Okay, fine. In the halcyon days of the Empire, the Emperor commanded his own guard. Apart from the regular duties of protection for the Emperor, they were trained as... Does this merchant ever live in any of these intros? We've been present for his... we've robbed from him before he died. We've gone to try and trade with him before he died. And now we're going and hiring someone to kill him. Apart from the regular duties of protection for the Emperor, they were trained as experts in infiltration and assassination. Many political and military opponents would meet with unexplainable misfortune or death in the rapture of night, ensuring the long stability of the Empire. After their fall, without a master to serve, the Guard disbanded in the chaos of the fallen Empire. Once outside, they found that even as the world lay in ruins, their peacekeeping services were in great demand. An assassin's order was established that later bore the proud name of the regiment, the Boatmen of Styx. You enter the Boatmen of Styx Guild. The business-like nature of the establishment is very clear. The hall is lacking any decoration or flamboyance, and the patrons are mostly silent. There are no guards anywhere in the room. Nelios, the guildmaster of Terran's assassins, always smiled. He smiled when he talked to people, as if he just told a good joke, and he smiled when he had to kill, which in his mind was a joke life played on its victims. Since the dead are as good at keeping secrets, few people thought of Nelios as an assassin. The general consensus was that Nelios was strictly an administrator of the guild, rather than someone who killed for a living. Hey, runner, who crossed your guild this time? This time? You think this is the first time we've been asked to eliminate unwanted players in the trading game? After the Empire fell, there were dozens of little trading guilds and companies. It was a very busy time for us. Now there's only one. Thank you for the business. So, runner, who crossed your guild this time? Gracie is the trader. I heard of him. 200 Imperials and he'll bother you no more. What are you going to do, kill him twice? I've never seen a merchant who wouldn't try to knock the price down. And again, I've never seen a merchant who would actually kill someone, so the price stays. If you want Gracius dead, pay 200 Imperials. If you don't want him dead, you go back to Linus and tell him you've changed your mind. Come to think of it, maybe we should reconsider. After all, I'm sure it's cheaper to convince Gracius to fall in line. I'm sure it is. Fine, here's the 200. Not a problem. Anything else today? Pleasure doing business with you. Runner, good job. Gracius won't trouble us again. As they say, death solves all problems. No man, no problem. I like his way of thinking. By the way, this is for you. This is the real reason Gracius is dead. The old map made me... blah, 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 blah. The old map made him bold and greedy. Made him think he could return and buy favors with it. I thought you'd appreciate the irony. Show the map to Fang. Okay. Hi, Fang. So this is probably going to be... Yep, this extremely valuable artifact. Blah, 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 blah. Yep. This is the same stuff that we've already seen. Nothing new there. Okay. Alright, so we've done that. Merchant Plaza. Boop. Hello there. You're not what I want. Is it this person? Nope. Where are you, merchant? Maybe it's this one. Because I can actually steal from this one, so it's probably this one. Hey, I'd like to browse your wares. Okay, I need a... Where is it? Noble dress, which is that one. I'd like to trade for that, please. Thank you. Do I need to put the dress on? It never says to put the dress on. I'm gonna put the dress on. I'm just gonna presume that. Alright. There's the palace. Up to the palace. What would it be, Michael? Like, what would it visually be? Alright, so, I'm totally a noble. I can't. Deller watches you without expression. When you get close enough, he gestures you to stop and studies you for a while. What do you want? He asks, as if he failed to guess the purpose of your business. Gently, you dare question a noble born? Step aside before I lose my patience. My apologies, Lady Taliadis. It's an honor, my lady. I was always impressed by the battle your house won at Koltar. My house fought for the Emperor at Trudolf, Eastbeck, and Stanius. If you're so interested in history, hire a tutor. Very kind of you, my lady. I must admit I'm shocked to see you renounced and without an entourage. I am on a mission of a very delicate nature. The less attention drawn to it, the better. You can't be too careful these days. Very well, you can go in. My lord, I beg forgiveness for the unannounced intrusion. I was given little choice. I was entrusted. Blah, 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 blah. This is the same dialogue we got. We swear to you. We swear to you. We swear. We swear. We swear. We're super sweary. Okay, we have now sworn to the leader of the place. Alright, so now let's go to Mataron. Wow, that took like 5 seconds. Looks like the sellswords win again. Emboldened by their success in Tehran, the lords of Commercium set their sights on Mataron. Lord Gallius can't be controlled, ergo he must be replaced by someone more suitable. What the city needs is someone who will show proper respect to the guildmaster and maybe even listen to an occasional piece of advice. Or two. Serenus, Lord Gallius' nephew, is a perfect candidate. He has the blood claim, he's young, weak, and already owes a fortune. Still, replacing the most powerful man of the realm isn't an easy task. It must be handled very delicately. Temporary alliances, disavowed the moment the goal is achieved, must be made. Assurances must be given. Most importantly, Lord Gallius and the Imperial Guard must be distracted while we take over the second town, apparently. Welcome to the second. We're in Act 2 already. Odd. This is just sort of crazy. Alright. We need to raise crafting to 6. Yep. Okay, do this to do that. And then we go here, and then here. And then here. I actually remember where Domitius is this time. Now, we've actually already talked to him, so we're just going to do this. There we go. Okay, and... yeah, no, we're just going to... We agree. We swear! We swear! And we have now sworn to the second leader. He faded Kirby. Alright. Oops, I didn't... Yep, okay. And now we go to the third city. And we're now in Act 3. I'm really curious what ending we're going for here. Like, at this point, I'm actually legitimately curious. Lord Gallius' attempts to bolster his forces with Ordu tribesmen ends in failure. Word of his gambit spreads, and his political opponents paint him as a warmonger and a madman, whose ambitions would have doomed the city if not for the ever-vigilant Imperial Guards. House Aurelian's support wanes amongst the nobility, as does its influence in the region. Sensing vulnerability, House Aurelian's enemies work tirelessly to stir discontent and rebellion throughout the city, forcing Gallius to turn his attention to dealing with the internal threat. Under the pretense of rooting out rebellion, the boatmen sweep through the city, purging nobles and commoners by the hundreds. Reluctantly, Lord Gallius dons the mantle of tyrant, determined to keep Mataron at all costs. Meanwhile, we're in the religious city. Chapter 3. We were just here. Not all that long ago. That's the only thing we have to swear on, Blue Hero. Oh, here we go. I work for Lord Meru. I am runner. Wait, what? We're dead. Uh-huh. Well, anyways, I guess I'll read the death thing. You try to get up, but can't. The puddle of blood is getting bigger, and... we've already had that death thing. We've already had that death thing. That's not a new death thing. That's the one where we're thrown in a corpse pile and it takes us hours to die. So, hang on, save. Figure out what's we screwed up there. 3. Yeah, it's a reputation failure. Talk to Lenos, then Lenos, go to Fangs, talk to him, go to the Merchant Plaza, buy the noble dress, travel to the palace, run towards the entrance, bribe your way in, talk to Antitus, say that you have the thing, give him that, go to Madarin. Fast travel to the arena, go to the house, level up crafting to 6, which we did. Open the door, talk to Domitius, swear to Gaelius, open the map, travel to Ganazar, run through the gate, group results to stop you, hit 3, hit 1, and then you should be able to move forward. I have absolutely no idea why we're dying. They must have changed something. Because these are a couple of years out of date. They must have patched something to change how it's working. Because this is the second time the very clear and very step-by-step walkthrough has been wrong. We have 9 rep with Darrington. That's actually funny. We do have -1 with Crassus, which is Meru. Hang on, Wilson, hang on. I want to see where this goes. Give me... I have an idea, I have an idea. I have an idea. Yeah, we now have tons of rep with Meru. That'll help. Maybe it doesn't, whatever. So we swear. Okay, we're here. We made it. Where the hell was I? I'm actually turned around now. Okay, hang on. Okay, so fast travel here. Go up the stairs. Zealots are like, hey, we didn't see anyone, just like last time, so we continue to go up the stairs. Go to the inn. I mean, possible, Javin, but again, there's... Either the guide is written badly, because I just double-checked it, so I didn't miss a step, or something has changed in the last 2 years since this guide happened, which is very possible. Alright, so we've actually already read all this, so... There we go. Okay. There's your skippable cutscenes, by the way. Okay, so we talk to him. Then we leave. That's funny. We just leave. We don't even talk to the leaders. Just, nah, we're out. We go to Dead River. So we didn't even go to Dead River last time, so let's see what this is. It's kind of... Whoop, it. What the scrolls call a dazzling river port is now no more than crumbling stones perched at the edge of a dry riverbed. The only other detail of note is an agglomeration of unusually dense fumes hanging over the dusty gulch. After an unsuccessful attempt to peer through this unhealthy-looking cloud, you turn back and are startled to find a young man standing only a few feet behind you. He is empty-handed and dressed in old robes, many times patched and too threadbare to conceal any weapons.
What do you seek here?
He asks. Though you have spoken from people with many lands, his accent is strange to you. I'm looking for an old temple.
The Great Ziggurat. It lies beyond the hollow.
Hollow?
There was a lake once, but the gods cursed it. There was this one dude who was a thief, and it's the whole story. They sent an evil wind that brought death to everyone who hadn't gone into hiding and caused the waters to boil and turn to poison.
How do I get across?
Were you summoned?
Yeah.
And the gods will send for you, and if they don't, then you must take the trial and prove yourself worthy.
A trial?
The hollow is dry, so you can cross it on foot. The air isn't as bad as before, but it will weaken you all the same when you need strength the most.
Why?
Well, the evil wind killed everything that walks, but spared things that crawl, because the gods had a special task for them. The gods ordered them to grow big and guard the hollow until the curse is lifted and the waters return to wash them away.
Let me guess. Giant scorpions. They never go out of style, do they?
They are fearsome and terrifying beasts.
So there's no other way across?
Not anymore.
Wait, but there used to be?
Well, there are stories of a bridge made of light, but I must confess I have a hard time imagining such a thing. I mean, what man is worthy enough to walk on light?
Who can tell me more about the Bridge of Light?
Well, for a small donation, the Elder, who's much older than me, will be happy to answer your questions.
Okay, that's... alright. Okay. Oh, hang on, we need a level. There we go. Where are we? That doesn't tell me. This where we came in? This looks like where we came in. Alright, trying to orient myself here. Nice place. Look, there's even a roof. Check it out. One roof. That's pretty impressive. They've got cows and everything. My god. Just shrekking it here. Okay, no. Well. Yeah, I saw the bow there. Looks like I can't go down. The exact direction, I'm just going to read this out loud here. Go down in the ruins and run to the machines. Like, there's lots of ruins, but I'm not seeing anything that would qualify as a machine here. So we just go exploring a little bit. Aha! You need a rope. Okay. Let's see if there's something else. I should notice that it only shows me things I can interact with when I'm next to them, so I should probably actually draw them. See if we we see anything pop up. I'm just pulling up the video to see, like, if it shows me where he's going. Yeah, this might be another thing they changed. I'm just going to see what he does. Okay, so loading screen, loading screen. Ganazar. I'm going to bet he just walks up and hits 3 and 1. Yeah, they just leave him alone. Looks like there's no... Ah, yeah, there was... I saw it. There was no rep thing. Oh, I have no idea, Traxi. We never found out. We just gave it to him, and then the game ended. Or didn't end, might be more accurate. Okay, so we'll talk to him. Here. Yep, okay. Then we map to here. Alright, so we walk forwards. We get a cutscene, and then he goes there? Where? Hang on. What? Ah! There it is! I see it. God. Okay, we have now gone down into the ruins. Okay. We gotta find the machines. Which are probably these things. That's the elder. There's the machines. Go to the machines. Alright, we examine it. By sorting through a tangled disarray of cables, you determine the machine was connected to a bank of power generators. The generators themselves were gutted long ago, and their shells converted by some ancient devotee into small shrines. That's problem number 1. So we restore power. By kicking apart these mechanical abominations left by the locals and rifling through the detritus, you manage to scrabble together enough to repair 1 generator. It's less than you need, but it'll have to do. Sweeping the candle stubs and mouse skulls aside, you start rebuilding the generator. It's not your best work. In fact, from a distance of 5 paces, your creation is indistinguishable from its mutilated brethren. But when you throw the lever, it gives an almost human wheeze and reluctantly comes to life. The Elder gasps as a low, dull glow heralds the generator's return to basic function. The machine is working at no more than 30% capacity, but that's the best you can do. The coil is busted, but as this particular part enjoyed a celebrated second life as a candlestick, there are plenty to choose from. At some point, another technician did a passable job of mending the amplifier, thank the gods for minor mercies. Crystals are darkened from hard use, but nevertheless functional, all but 1. So we use the crystal from the Eye of Thor. Ah, that's the necklace we got forever ago. You insert the crystal, and the machine comes to life with a roiling, bone-deep vibration. A coughing sound soon comes from the overtaxed generator. Not enough power. You could overload the generator, which would increase the power output, but only briefly. The generator won't survive the process. It's reasonable to assume the entire area won't survive. Your own survival is not entirely guaranteed either, but when does that let you slow you down? So, overload! With a worrying metallical whine, the power supply rises and a broad rectangle of light extends over the chasm. The beam is focused and does not spread, as if the ancients were funneling sunlight. You watch incredulous as the light brightens, then thickens as if forming a physical surface, and at last subsides to a gentle glow. Tentatively, you tap with 1 foot at the base where the bridge meets the edge. No illusion. You step into the parapet and a deep, not unpleasant humming sound envelops you. Walking out onto the bridge, you feel the air resist you as if you moved underwater. The generator can blow at any moment, so let's freaking go. You are more than halfway to the other side when your stomach drops along with the rest of your body, in time with a rattling explosion behind you. The bridge has winked out of sight, leaving you at the mercy of gravity. Fortunately for you, the nice hard carapace of a giant scorpion breaks your fall. Rolling to your feet, you start running and climb up the steep bank. That would be hysterical, Jobbin. The Imperial Guard's decision to side with House Aurelian in the siege of Ganazar, it's a siege, seals Gallius' grip on power. Gallius is just conquering this 3 cities while we're off doing whatever. A new kingdom will be forged, and a sunrise is added to Gallius' banner, a fitting sigil for a dawning era. In succeeding days, the Imperial Guards move on the villages and settlements subject to Ganazar, openly inviting the inhabitants to swear fealty to Rex Gallius, first of his name. Once these noble volunteers have been checked against the rolls, the remainder are rounded up and encouraged to pledge their loyalty at spear point. The gods are fickle, and if they heard the prayers of their first acolyte, they gave no sign, an indifference which weakens the creed. Instead of fueling the flame of religion, the spilling of Meru's blood apparently douses it. His martyrdom marks the end of the faith he championed once and for all, and now Lord Antitus waits for the inevitable. So, the temple. At last, the temple. It's taken us like 2 minutes to get here. You stand in awe of what was once a magnificent complex, a sprawling group of structures the size of Tehran, dominated at its heart by a great ziggurat. Though time has reduced the walls and smaller buildings to little more than rubble and dust, the ziggurat has resisted the elements. The shifting sands have drifted high on its steps, and hungry vines have climbed its surface here and there, but the cracks on the outer shells are superficial. Its presence is like that of a solitary mountain, conveying agelessness and endless patience, seeming content to wait, though for what you do not know. Nice place. Little temple-y. Oh, in we go. And down we go. Into the depths. Hey, Axelber. Oh my god, it's that freaking level in Diablo 2. Oh, hey, the elevator. It's the same thing we failed to use last time. Okay. Well, that's not the elevator. This is the elevator. Down we go. Wow. Interesting place. Oops. Where are we at? What are we looking at? What are we looking at? We got a lot of stuff here. We got stuff everywhere. Oh, here we go. The elevator shaft is blocked by overlapping crescent-shaped metal plates, forming an iris diaphragm. You know, perhaps it's best to leave it alone, abandoned and forgotten. I tell my master the temple doesn't exist. We call that the college try. And that's actually an ending. That's actually an ending, yeah, no, there's no temple. You spend hours staring at the tomb and wondering what you should do, but in the end you decide to do nothing. After all, the past is best left buried with, and nothing good would come out of waking up the god now. The world has struggle and strife enough without the interference of gods. You'll tell your master the temple has been destroyed a long time ago to ensure that nobody will seek it again. Of course, someone might stumble onto it one day, but that's their problem, not yours. Regnum Arium, the fledgling kingdom hastily declared after Meru's death, grows stronger with every passing year. Control over the 2 largest cities gives Gallius all the leverage he needs to bring the smaller settlements into the fold. While many celebrate Regnum Arium as the rebirth of the old empire, the future remains uncertain. One thing is clear, the era of warring city-states has finally come to an end, and for the first time since the fall of the empire, one king and one law reign supreme over the land. You remain a drifter, never staying in one place long enough to call it home. The world's big enough, so why chain yourself to one place, one guild, one person, when there's so much to see and discover? Lore Master Feng remains Antitus' most trusted advisor. While some question his wisdom and knowledge, advising Antitus on local matters requires neither. Instead, he provides a far more valuable service, telling Antitus exactly what he wants to hear and supplying him with powerful artifacts. The end. Yeah, that's the All right, I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm out. Ending. That's funny. That is apparently as fast as it gets at last check. That is the any percent intended route. To just blaze through and find the temple, and then as soon as you get to the second puzzle of the temple, excuse me, the first puzzle in the temple, just being like, yeah, I give up. There was a door. Did you try opening the door? Dude, there was a door. You don't question doors. Come on. God, that's funny. Okay. I'm in an interesting position here. How do I want to chop this up into positives and negatives? Actually do that. There we go. Is there a good ending? Well, hang on. I was linked to the endings earlier. Let's pull this up. Let's see what other options we got, shall we? Okay, so apparently there's a faction ending, which is just you back a faction, apparently. There's the God ending. We got that one. There's the Agathoth ending. I don't know what that is. There's the Balzar ending. There's something called a nuke ending. I really would like to know more about the nuke ending. Could you give me more about the nuke ending, please? So in order to get the nuke ending, we join the Imperial Guards, kill the First Lord. Oh, this is what I was reading about. So we kill the First Lord, go to Matarin, into the Abyss, power up the machine, which kills the entire second city, and thus the Second Lord. Then we go to Ganazar and go help Meru in Al Akia, then sabotage the ritual, killing him. Then we go to the Ziggurat, which is where we just were, awaken Agathoth, which is one of the gods, and then we fire off a nuke to kill him. In the ziggurat, don't open the sarcophagus and just leave. That's the one we just got. What do we got here? Player reigns. Apparently, so what we can take over without becoming a god. In Terran, we have to convince the preacher that we're the chosen one. We have to kill Cassius. I don't know why that's required. We have to ensure Meru remains in control of Ganazar, awaken Agathoth, convince him to make us his servant, go to Ganazar, kill Meru, convince everyone you're the new leader of the religion, Feng will vote against you, but then you actually take over the region with Agathoth pulling your strings behind the shadows. By the way, the achievement for the death to everything ending is called Burn It. Not really, Trihexia. I've played much harder games than this. I mean, I'm going to be playing Bloodborne later, too. No, the Mega Man games are harder than this. No, this game... Javan keeps using the word mastery. I might borrow that for the rumination. This is a game that is intended for you to play through it, and then play through it, and then play through it, and then play through it, and to take notes, right? Oh, this NPC, if you talk to him, raises this skill by this. Huh, there was a such and such check at this area, so I need to remember that. And you're supposed to map it out. Like, you could tell this is a game designed to map out a route through it. Because there are multiple options in multiple places and in multiple ways. And so much of it is mutually exclusive. So, you know, you literally cannot do all the quests in the first town, for example, unless you cheat because of mutual exclusiveness. With regard to stats, I mean. Like, you're not capable of doing the quests because of skill checks. All right, Javan, you're the one who I know is going to argue with me against this. I want you to argue with me against the build yourself into a corner problem that this game does have. Because it is astonishingly easy to make just a terrible build with no real indication that it's not going to work and just build yourself completely into a corner. Let me give you an example. Alright, so let's make a melee person, right? We'll be a mercenary. There we go. Boom. Alright, so we're a mercenary. We want to hit hard, so we're going to have strength. Yeah, we're going to have strength. We're going to boost beat thing. We need some perception. We'll lower our constitution a little bit. Get that a little bit lower. No needs int. No charisma. We do need perception so we can hit. Let's lower dexterity 2 more steps. There we go. And there. Perfect. Perfect spear build. Oh, hang on. Let's actually raise spear. There we go. And raise block. And actually, hang on. And let's raise dodge as well. There we go. Perfect. So, behold, we have that. This build will not work. Now, I happen to know that because I've done a little bit of research on how the build works. But let me just give you, I don't know, 3 things that are wrong with this build right off the bat. First of all, spear is not improved by strength. Spear is improved by dex. So, despite the fact that I get a damage bonus, my spear stat is still just kind of pathetic as a result of my dex being so low. The second problem with my core stats is the fact that my constitution is relatively low. And that may sound like a weird thing to point out, but not only is there a lot of poison in this game, but you never raise your HP in the entire game. So your constitution, that sets you to that forever. Also, we obviously have very few civil points, so that's going to screw us over on basically every quest. But at least we'll do good in combat, right? No, because dodge and block are mutually exclusive. Now, some games do a roll. So let me lay this out really quick. You're here, the enemy's here. So they have to do, in most games, they do 3 separate rolls to hit you before damage happens, right? The first roll is just straight up their accuracy, how much of a chance they have to hit you. Then they have to roll against your dodge percent. Then they have to roll against your block percent. You with me? That's normal. Most games do that. This game does not. This game instead does the 2 hit chance, and then one other roll, which is either your block or your dodge, whichever is higher. You can never trigger 2, and you never get both swings of the thing. So if you split up points between the dodge and block, you're literally just wasting the points. You should focus entirely on just dodge or block, right? I'm not giving a negative for that job, and I'm giving a negative for the fact that this game is extremely easy to build yourself into a corner with no information that you're doing so. The only thing I could see, personally, that might mitigate this is the fact that usually you'll figure out that you have a bad build by the second town. But play the game for 3 hours and then find out you're playing it wrong doesn't sound like a great argument to me. Yeah, honestly, if we ever review Arcanum, that will also be a negative. And I guarantee you that'll be a negative in Arcanum. Because in Arcanum, that game is very unbalanced. And as a consequence, some builds are flat out worse. And there's nothing that indicates that they're flat out worse. And when you get to a certain point of the game, which is kind of the equivalent of the second act, when you get to the first major city, then you're screwed. Because that's when you're going to start running into walls of competency and have to reroll. Yeah, Arcanum is a very unforgiving game. Not really on purpose. This game's unforgiving on purpose, but Arcanum is just old. Let me look at my notes here. I think what I want to do... So I've been staring at this one negative for walkthroughiness, which is a new term because we've never actually run into this before. I'm going to add the word mastery to that because that's what Java keeps using. And you're probably thinking, why is that a negative? I think it is a negative and a positive. I think that's what I want to do, is give it a positive and a negative for that. You're probably wondering why. Well, on the one hand, if you are going to sit down and push through the game and fail and fail and fail and fail and take notes as you go, that's the mastery thing we were talking about earlier. That's figuring out what to do and how to do it, or just use a walkthrough like I was doing, and be able to therefore progress and figure out all of the various methods by which you can go through the game, right? So that's why that's both a good and a bad thing, in my opinion, because it's a game that effectively mandates you smashing your head into the wall repeatedly in order to really be able to progress, or requires a walkthrough. In short, it's the Breath of Fire 2 problem. If you know what you're doing, you're fine. If you know what you're doing, you can play around with it. It's like, oh, see, I want to try this build. Like earlier, Wilson linked me something, which was making alchemy into just stupidly overpowered stuff, and having, I don't even remember all the stats. It was having like 20 action points per round and just hitting like a truck. And you know, blah, 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 blah. But in order to do that, you have to know the alchemy, you have to know where to get the recipes, and you have to know where to get the items and how to combine them. And if you have that knowledge, then yeah, you're overpowered, right? So that's why I want to give that a positive and a negative, because it is a well-designed system that can still be very frustrating, especially if you're not into bashing your head on the wall multiple times or looking stuff up, right? It is good, it is also bad, so we'll do that mastery system. Fast travel's good, multiple intros and quests is good. We're going to put quest branching. I'm kind of thinking about giving 2 positives for branching quests, because these quests are stupid. This is something I was telling PAX to sell him on the matter. The game is relatively short. I mean, we've beaten this game in effectively 1 full shift, which is, 10 hours. And granted, yeah, I know, we did use a walkthrough, but you get my point. Even when we weren't using a walkthrough, we were already in, like, the 2.5 town, on our way out of the 2nd town, within just a couple hours, right? But that's a good thing. I do think the shortness of the game is absolutely a positive. And because not only, obviously for them, the creators, it's easier to make something branching the shorter it is, but also I think that in this case, it adds to the replay value. Because, yeah, it's a positive with replayability. So I think what I'll do is actually I'll give 1 positive for the branching and 1 positive for replay. It's a better way to express that, I think. Non-combat leveling and options, duh. Variety of dialogue and options, duh. Info in game, duh. Interface still kind of sucks. Building yourself into a corner, I'm arguing against that. Walk them through remasteriness. I guess that's the same negative, though. Yeah, it is the same negative. We'll do that. We'll combine those. Visual distinction. I am going to give a negative for visual distinction to the gameplay. It's not quite the game's fault, but I mean, we were making fun of how brown the game was earlier. It really is kind of brown. And there are several times where it's actually legitimately hard to see what I'm looking at. That's why it's a visual distinction thing. It's not that the game is ugly or whatever. It's the fact that in several cases, I can't tell what I can interact with or what I'm trying to look at. I actually just demonstrated that where I couldn't even find the staircase earlier, even knowing relatively where it was. Music is definitely a plus to story. The trip to the crater was as a plus to story. The visual storytelling is a plus to story. The world building is a plus to story, too. The writing quality is actually really good. The flavor text and descriptions is all very good. Let's hit the audit list really quick, because I want to do that. Like I feel like I'm done. I feel like I've got this, but I want to make sure I'm doing due diligence and giving out everything, and that's the whole reason the audit list exists. So let's go down the list here, shall we? If anything jumps out at you, feel free to jump at me. So, okay, let's hit gameplay first. I think it's easiest to discuss. So, I actually agree with that, John. And give me a second, though, because that seems like a story thing. So, all roads lead to Rome. We already mentioned that. Animations don't really exist. There's no audio spam. There's no auto battle. We already talked about the leveling system. There's not really any backtracking, so it's fine there. There's no bestiary. There's not really any bosses. I mean, there are actually bosses, but we didn't fight them. No bugs that I encountered. Build. Yep, nope, that's going to be a plus to gameplay. Build gameplay. There's a lot of builds you can do, and there's a decent number of them are viable, depending on what you do. That's a definite positive to gameplay. See you around, SJ. Built-in cheats. There is an in-game console. It's pretty limited. If I was to give a plus for that, I'd probably give an aggregate. So let's jot that down as a potential aggregate. Built-in console, question mark, //. Camera is kind of crap, but it's not bad enough to be negative worthy. We already gave a plus for choices. There's no co-op. The controls are okay. The core combat. I know we haven't shown it off much, but I feel like the core combat is kind of neutral to me. I feel like it's one of the weakest features of the game, which is funny because it feels like they didn't want you to fight stuff in this game. You know what I mean? Thank you, Swerby, very much for the sub. Always appreciate. I'll put that down for Psychonauts, which is also getting pretty close to being funded at this point. Well, I do hope you'll have fun, Darth Maduro. Yeah, it's a little brown. It's a little brown. Yeah, the combat is there. It's a basic AP system. there's not a lot of strategy. There's some debuffs, which are valuable, and there's hit chance, and there's armor, which, you know, reduces your chance to dodge and reduces your chance to hit. And that's kind of it. I mean, there's a couple items we can get, and obviously alchemy could just break combat in half. But like I said, I don't think combat is bad. I just don't think it's great enough to warrant a positive by itself. Enjoy the brown. Which of these am I? Oh, I'm that guy. Couldn't even tell who I was. Okay, so moving on. There's not really a character creation or cosmetic thing. We had no crashes. Very stable game, which, by the way, can I just go ahead and say that that's impressive for a game made by 6 people over the course of 10 years. That's actually really impressive, so props there. Difficulty curve. I don't think there is a difficulty curve, as weird as that sounds. I think there's a difficulty line. The whole game never varies in its difficulty, which I do think adds to the enjoyment, but I'm not sure if that deserves a positive. I'm going to go with no, because usually when I say difficulty curve, it applies to things like combat, and that's not really applicable here, so let's move on. No difficulty options, obviously. Durability isn't a thing. We never had issues with the weight system, so that's not going to be a negative. Encounter rate is non-applicable. Encounter design is not really. Enemy variety is no. Endgame doesn't really apply in this game. There is a fast travel. We gave plus for that. Graphics, no grindiness. No grindiness. The HUD is not great. I actually gave a negative for that. Info in game is good. I gave a plus for that. Intro. I think we could fairly safely say the intro is Terran. I've also noticed, Jovan, I didn't succeed at this because apparently you need a very good build for this and some luck on the dice. But from what I understand, from what I was able to read, because I did a little research off camera, the more successful you are in combat, the more you snowball. And, like, doing combat gives you combat X, which gives you more power in combat, and it snowballs pretty hard. There are still a couple of fights in the game that are supposed to be ludicrously difficult, but other than those 3 encounters, 2 of which are gods, by the way, you're supposed to just kind of hit a point of just rolling over everything in your path. No, they do, Hariant, but I think that's more part of the choices combat plus, which I gave for that. I think I want to give a plus to the intro, because the intro is Terran, and we start off and we've got multiple different opening options, and then we go and there's a couple of fairly basic similar quests which teach us how to spot things, or go fight, or, you know, get into a trap, or get out of a trap, and a lot of it really does help you. It's good tutorialization, so I think a plus to intro is warranted gameplay-wise. Wow, Carvelas. Yeah, that's also true, Wilson. And I'll mention that in the notes, too. The intro missions are all pretty interlinked with each other. Very well designed. Inventory, kit, that doesn't apply here. No microtransactions. Level scaling, lighting, penalty for failure. Oh, I have no idea, Mr. Red. I really don't. No log, map is not great, no mission checkpointing, no missions, no mini games, excuse me. No mod support, music, we already talked about that, that's in the story axis. No new game plus, not really any options. Outro doesn't really exist as a concept here, so I'm going to skip over that. No overworld, no pacing or padding problems. Power progression curve is smooth, but not really noteworthy, just no Princess Peach sections. Damn it, Jovan. Could you imagine getting to the ending and then not having the int and the constitution to win and dying in the ending? Because I don't have to imagine that. It's something that can happen here. Replayability, we already mentioned that. Yes, right there. Railroading, nope. There's very little railroading here. There's like a minuscule amount of railroading. No Raspberry Jam problem. We did have the respec problem, but that's part of the mastery thing. There's not really permadeath. I guess you could manually do a permadeath playthrough, a hardcore playthrough, just reload the game rather than reload your save every time you die. Save system is not bad, actually. I'm going to give a plus for the save system. I know that sounds weird, but because I haven't really talked about it, so let me show this off really quick. If you go over here, you'll notice that in the save things, you can change how many quick saves you can hold, and how many autosaves you can hold. So, as you're moving through zone lines, which is where the autosaves track, and entering combat, by the way, that's where the autosaves track. And then you can hit quick saves, and yeah, that's a good system. It's the Skyrim method. I like that. That's definitely a plus. This is becoming a very positive game. I was not expecting that, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, no, that's good stuff. Sound design doesn't exist. I'm not sure this game has sound effects. Strategic layer doesn't exist. Terrain design doesn't exist. Trash design, there's no trash in this game. There's no traversal mechanics. We already talked about tutorialization. Cutscenes are fully skippable. There's no variety. We already talked about visual distinction, walkthroughitis, and there's no Yoshi drum. So that is everything on the gameplay axis. Just leave that there. Let's look at the story axis. So far, so hang on. Since we're kind of done, that means our net score right now for gameplay is +9, which is not shabby. Way better than I was expecting, I'm going to be real. One moment. Age of Decadence. There we go. And we'll put that here too. It's right under Planetfall. Shut up, Mr. Red. Alright, so. Story, animation, nope. Atmosphere and tone. Yeah. Babylon 5 effect? No, not really. Background lore? Yeah. Although we've already given that one. So hang on, so... let's do that here. Background lore. And atmosphere and tone, which is... we actually haven't given a separate positive for that. Sphere and tone. There we go. Plus to story. Background lore, we already talked about. Banter doesn't exist. Branching narrative. I gave that positive. Right? I gave that positive. This is why we have the audit. Because of course branching narrative is a positive to story, but I didn't give a plus for it yet, so branching narrative. This is exactly why we have the audit. I'm so glad we paused for like a week or whatever it was to do this. Camera work, nope. Characters. I don't feel like I could give a plus to characters. As much as the writing is good quality overall, I don't think any of them really jump out at me. Because most of them were of the same general tint, with the possible exception of Fang. That's why I'm debating this. What do y'all think? We never did come up with another... oh, shoot. Actually, +8 to gameplay, my bad. Yeah, let's skip over that. Cinematics doesn't exist. Consequence storytelling, oh yeah. A lot of that. Cutscene incompetence, nope. Dialogue, that's this one. We've already given. Doodads, no. Empty text, no problems with that. Endgame doesn't exist. External continuity does not exist. Fake drama, nope. Foreshadowing, not really. Humor, no. This game is the opposite of humor. Where does this team that made this game live? I'm just curious, because this feels like an Eastern European game. Everything is dark and horrible, and there is no life in any future that will ever be. The most terribleness of all horribleness will descend upon ye. And the... right? Like, I cannot be the only one who gets that vibe from it. Okay, so, no humor plus. Internal continuity, yes. Lots of internal continuity. And I must say, as a further addendum, that was Wilson, I'll give you that. As a further addendum, I have to once again... hang on, Gum, not a good time. Now, I want to once again heap praise on the game for its shortness. Because I know that sounds such a strange thing, but because they did something... so few game designers understand this. They zoomed the camera in so far. This is a game about 3 cities in one little valley. And that's it. But because they zoomed the camera in so hard, they could do things like consequent storytelling. They could do things where people can interact with each other, and there could be a ripple effect, and you could see it, what happens and how this moves here and where. And you can have these kind of changes and have these kind of branches because you've zoomed in so far. I cannot believe how few game designers understand that. And everyone tries to go bigger and badder, and everything has to be gigantically huge. Anyways, sorry. Intro. Yeah. I can't argue that. Plus to story, intro. We've already talked about that. It's good from a gameplay aspect, and it's good from... It absolutely sets the tone and the characterization and the style of the game. And it puts you into the narrative, and it gives you all the relative hooks and premises, and gives you tons of different options for motivations for continuing. It is a good intro, story-wise. Lighting, nope. Localization doesn't apply. Moments. I actually gave a plus for a moment. Music direction, we gave that plus. An NPC set dressing, nope. Outro doesn't apply. Pacing, no issues. Padding, no issues. Plot, I'm not sure what to make of the plot of this game, if I'm being completely honest. Party absence doesn't exist. We have no party. Pinch speech segments, nope. Sound design, nope. Story sequencing, pass. Storyboarding doesn't exist because it's all text. Themes. What's the theme of this game? I think the theme of this game is life sucks and then you die, but, you know, that's just me. Life sucks and then everything is pain. By the way, if anybody's actually offended by the Eastern Europe comment, it's just a joke. You know how there's always those stereotypes, right? Like, everyone in America is fat and ugly, and everyone in Europe is uptight and stupid, and everyone in Russia is evil, right? You know the stereotypes. It's just a stereotype. It's just a joke. I am curious where these people are, because I've never heard of these people before, and I'm not sure they've made anything else. Let's look this up. Let's see if we can find this. So this was developed... Actually, they self-published, too. How the hell? They have also pushed out a game called Dungeon Rats, which is set in this world. I didn't know that. Came out just after this. And apparently they're currently working on Colony Ship. I've heard of this game. Which is an early access game right now. An isometric party-based RPG inspired by Heinlein's Orphans of the Sky. Your character's world is a generation ship, a massive spacecraft on a centuries-long voyage to colonize a distant planet. The ship's original government has been disbanded following a violent mutiny, and you must negotiate a treachery path amongst your fellow passengers and contentious factions for hold of the ship. Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna be real. The fact that that's based on something from Heinlein makes me want to never touch it, but the rest of it sounds cool. And it's not out yet. It's early access, but, you know, that's whatever. So we'll figure that out when we get there. Looks like a pretty similar system to the one we were just playing, too. Like, obviously some cosmetic changes, but, you know, we've got your core stats, you've got your combat stats, you've got your derived stats, and then you've got your social stats, and your faction standing, your beliefs. Yeah, it seems like it's an iteration of this system. No, I've read plenty of Heinlein's works. I can't stand Heinlein. I absolutely cannot stand his crap. So, anyways, where the hell were we? Age of Decadence. So storyboarding doesn't apply because it's all tell, don't show. But yeah, no, that works. Okay, so we gave a plus for visual storytelling. Sorry, I was debating. We gave a plus for visual storytelling. Voice acting doesn't exist. Voice direction doesn't exist. World building, we gave a plus for. Writing, we gave a plus for. I can't think of a negative to story for this game. Can anyone else? Not that I need to give it one. It's just, I want to check myself, you know. The goal is always to be fair. But I can't think of a negative to story for this game. It's not FF6. Automatic negative. really can't. I'm not actually joking. I can't think of a negative to story for this. That feels weird, but okay, you know, I'm with it. I'm with it. Which means our net score is going to be plus 12, plus 8. I have no idea where the golden number is going to be on that. Yeah, no, that's it. Wow, okay. I suppose I'll have to figure out how to do a rumination on this. This is going to be a very disjointed rumination. I should come up with like a death thing to mention. In the middle of the rumination, the lore runner suddenly realized that was not a keyboard, it was a giant pit of acid. Unfortunately, he could not stop himself from descending into the giant pit of acid. Alas and alack, he realized that it would take him several hours to die, slowly and agonizingly.